Timer's ticking. Last chance to hit those likes. Let's get the party started. Yo! Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. There's still 3 days till Christmas. But I'm still wearing the Santa hat. You guys are probably surprised. You said Jordan's not going to wear the Santa hat if he is not... If the price is going down. But no, we're going to wear the Santa hat today because it's the last day I'm streaming before Christmas. So we have to be a little bit jolly. Even though the stock markets are getting looking like they're going to get absolutely trashed today. The DXY looks like it's going to bounce off a friggin' trampoline today. And Bitcoin so far, I guess it's still just chilling, but looking a little bit droopy for your boy over here. But what's going on, guys? Dan coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. What's going on, Dan? Good to have you in here pre-Christmas. And we got the coffee ready to roll. I promise I won't slurp today. Okay? I do promise I won't slurp today. But let's talk some interesting things going into 2023. All right? So today will be the last day that I'll be streaming until the 27th. Can you believe it? Holy moly, man. You know what happens. Is it a coincidence that sort of Bitcoin's kind of struggling here right before I leave? I don't know. I don't know if it is, but we'll find out. I promise I won't slurp the coffee today, guys. I'm going to try very, very hard. If I do slurp the coffee, just put in the chat, Jordan, you're being super, super annoying today. Do not slurp the damn coffee, okay? Just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. But we're going to talk some Bitcoin destiny stuff today, right? Because Bitcoin, it's 2023 time, right? 2022 was a horrible, horrible year for really any type of investment besides cash. Any investment got absolutely trashed this year. But it's almost 2023 time. And if we were to follow the 4-year cycle, which Bitcoin has not deviated from yet, it's a fresh year. And we go into the year 2 of the potential 4-year cycle, which Bitcoin has always done every single time. So we're going to look at some interesting stuff today. We're going to look at, man, some stock market stuff based off, if you break this, it's been bad in the past. If you break this, it's been good in the past. If these cross, it's been bad in the past. And I found some interesting stuff this morning that you guys might like. So as always, let's smash up that like button for the pre-Christmas stream. I'll be live tonight at 7 today. 7 p.m. today. You guys say, oh, it's real late, boy. Listen, I have my reasons. 7 p.m. tonight will be the stream time. Let me see. We need subtitles. Hold up. No, I can't slurp, guys, because every time I have a morning stream and I slurp the coffee, every morning, all I get in the comments section is, can you slurp any louder, bro? Bro, stop slurping your coffee. This is unwatchable with the slurping. So I cannot slurp, even though I want to. And you guys know, if you drink coffee, coffee does not taste as good if you do not slurp it. It always tastes better if you slurp it, if you know what I mean. But anyways, what's Bitcoin up to right now? Well, Bitcoin has pulled back from the mid-range. So, I mean, it really hasn't gone anywhere. It was sort of chilling at 16,800 yesterday. Now it's at 16,660. Oh my God, $140 dump. Oh my Lord. Something's going to change here. No, in reality, we haven't really gone anywhere. We're still kind of in this little range that we've been in for the last week, which has been super freaking boring, man. You saw it. Bob was even sleeping yesterday. And Bob can always find something to do because he has the biggest OCD in the family. You know what I mean? But Bitcoin's still going sideways here. I would say this is the level we want to hold. I would say if we still want to get this move up to 17.3, I want to see this level right here hold. Okay, I want to see the left a little bit of a head, because we all like a little bit of a head, especially right before Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And we all like some shoulders. There's a lot of shoulder guys out there. It's not the most pretty thing in the world, but I want to hold this level right here. And if Bitcoin can hold this level right here, hey, maybe we still get a little bit of a pre-Christmas pump, right? A little bit of a, I don't know if I should be saying this, but a little bit of a pre, you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? If this is a dick and balls pattern, a little bit of a pre, explosion before Christmas. Just to come back down and get our hopes messed up because you realized that you slept with a whale, just to get the emotions slapped back down right before or after Christmas, right? So this level right here is pretty big, at about 16,600, where we got this out. You see this 4-hour vector candle right here? You see this little 4-hour vector candle? It's pretty nice, right? It's a nice little candle there. I'm hoping this is just a take of this liquidity to the downside for us to come back up. If this level breaks right here, which, guys, the stock markets are looking a little bit shady this morning. I'm not going to lie. They're looking a little bit shady, and we know the DXY is at the 50-week moving average, which historically has been a point where it's bounced hard. Really hard. So this is a pretty big level. If this level breaks, that's where we could be seeing Bitcoin back down to 16K and levels lower than that. But we'll talk about it as time comes. But I will say that the big thing that's got me worried today, it's not even BTC. Okay, the big thing that's got me worried today, and we've sort of been talking about this, is the DXY back at the 50-week moving averages. This band right here is the DXY 50-week moving averages. Historically, when it's above this, the DXY is in a bull market. When the DXY is below this, it's gone into a bear market. It's retraced to this level, right? And this is when sort of everyone gets super bullish or bearish on the DXY. But this is a point where you often get a bounce, okay? We've talked about how this is two previous highs, and it's likely you get a bounce from this level, right? That's not the most fun thing. Oh, great, a bounce in the DXY, so Bitcoin's probably going to go sideways or down more. But that's about where we're at. And then if this breaks here, it's not going to be good for Bitcoin, man. that ain't going to be good for Captain Old Little Bitcoin here, and all our precious little altcoins, right? Our precious altcoins this morning. I like a hard bounce, said Lieutenant Dan Dangle. Nice, Dad. Lieutenant Dan. There's a lot of Dans in here. We got a Lieutenant Dan Dangle. That's an awesome name, by the way. We got Dan. We got obviously OG Dan in here, right? Our OG Dan. We got Breather said measure move up to 20K and down to 13.5 for Breather. Nice, dude. Sorry, I just slurped, guys. For me, it all depends on what the DXY does here. If the DXY starts bouncing off this level, it's not great. It's not great. Let's go back over here. So we'll see if Bitcoin holds this level. At the end of the day, nothing's really changed over the last week. It's been chop suey, and I guess I still have my target up here at the 0.5 retracement at the very, very least, as long as Bitcoin can hold the range here. Right? That's it. That's it. What's going on, Drunk Bear? I had to change. Daniel Pierce. Dan Dangle. That's a great name. Dan, and Dan. We need a fourth Dan in here. It's Christmas. It's Christmas time. Paul said Bitcoin can never drop below 10K. I will say this, man. I would generally agree with you, but in the past when I've said Bitcoin's never going to do this, I've had to eat a sock. So I will never say Bitcoin can't do anything because I've seen Bitcoin do crazy shit in my time in crypto. So nothing is impossible for me. If you told me that Bitcoin would be at 70K in June of 2023, I would think it's probably unlikely, but I wouldn't call you crazy. And at the same point, if you told me Bitcoin was at 5K in June of 2023, I would think that's unlikely, but I would think it's possible. I will never rule out anything in this space because all it takes is price going up or down to sort of get everyone else to go in that direction too. All right, so that's about where we're at. I would say there's nothing really crazy going on. It's just the same old, you know, you break a trend line on the daily and you sort of continue back down in that range, right? Break the trend line in the daily, continue down. Break the trend line in the daily, continue down. Break the trend line in the daily, continue down. I'm not going to go over this over and over and over again. That's not what I want the point of this video today be, but just kind of the same little deal for Captain BT Sizzle. I'm still hoping for that move up, right? To get a little bit of the stop hunt rise and then come back down. But man, if you take a look over here, this is what I want to look at today, guys. This is Bitcoin meets its destiny. So we know that the Bitcoin charts are cool, right? They're super, super cool. Awesome. Bitcoin charts. You know, we can learn a lot from Bitcoin charts, but Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of history to go off of, and it really only has been alive in a stock market bull market. So I went back today and I looked at something pretty freaking simple. I said, let's look at the 50-week moving averages and the 200-week moving average for the S&P over the course of its history. Okay, and I went back in its history and I took a look at this, and I looked at two different things. I looked at when the S&P 50-week moving average crossed the 200-week moving average and what happened after those times. And I also looked at whenever the S&P just simply broke the 200-week moving average or broke the 50. Now, we talked a little bit about the 50 yesterday, but if I want to show you guys. So you got the 200-week moving average coming up like this. You got the 50-week moving average coming down like this. And this is what I mean by destiny awaits, okay? Destiny freaking awaits in 2023. I don't think it's going to be one of these. Everyone's expecting 2023 to just be a boring year. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's either going to be, it's going to be a volatile year, in my personal opinion. And this is a big reason why. So you got the 50-week moving average coming down. You have the 200-week moving average coming up. This is going to squeeze you very, very hard over the next 6 months or so. The reason why I bring this up is if we go all the way back in history, you see how these never cross, these never cross, these never cross, these never cross, these never cross. Let's look at the times that they crossed, okay? And this is obviously the super bearish times, but right here back in 2008. 50-week moving average crosses the 200-week moving average. You can see that was when the bear market really started to get bad, right? Oh my God, this crossed right here. Boom! S&P 500 goes nuts to the downside. You guys know that Bitcoin would follow suit, okay? Bitcoin would follow suit. If we go over here, right here, and back in 2000, 50-week moving average crosses the 200-week moving average. You know, up until that point, it was kind of tame, nothing crazy. As soon as those crossed, though, bonk, you just got absolutely crushed to the downside. You got absolutely crushed. Okay, let's continue down. Now, I have a bullish standpoint too, so don't think I'm just like I'm just bear posting here. Hold on. Let's come back over here. What else did we cross? So we held it right here. Back in 1974, these crossed right here. What happened from that point? Up until that point, it was pretty mild bear market, nothing crazy. You cross, boink, right down to the downside. Have they crossed anytime before that? Yeah, one more time. Right here back in March of 1970. Okay, up until that point, you were chopping, nothing crazy, nothing too volatile. They crossed, boink. Okay, now you might be saying, Jordan, does that mean you think they're going to cross? Well, we don't know yet. That's the thing, right? This is one of those things that destiny awaits. Destiny sort of awaits Bitcoin and everything in between. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Just because they're about to converge does not mean they're about to cross. If you look at some of these times where they're about to cross and they don't, those are some of the best buy opportunities possible, right? Let's go back in time. So, for example, let me see some of these times here. So all the way up until this point, you had some moves down to the 200-week moving average, right? So 200-week moving average, you bounced. And 200-week moving average, you bounced. There's plenty of times in history where you bounced, right? 200-week moving average, you bounced. 200-week moving average, you bounced. The 50 and the 200 are the biggest moving averages that I'm watching on the S&P, hands down. And I sort of said, like, the Bitcoin chart's cool, but it doesn't really tell you much, to be honest. Because Bitcoin, everything you look at, Bitcoin has existed when Bitcoin's been in a bull market. It took me a while to realize that, but it's true. Now, here's the deal. Whenever the S&P has broken the 200-week moving average, it's been a shit show. Okay? But at the same point, whenever the S&P has broken the 50-week moving average to the upside, it's been God mode. Something's got to give here in the next probably 6 months. Like, if we do a little whoop, we come up like this, and we do a little maybe whoop, we come down like this. So this is probably going to play out. This is a bad trend line here. Let's do something like this. Like this. Dot, and let's do a little dot. Something's got to give by probably May of next year. So probably within the next 5 months. Not probably. I mean, it's gonna have to happen. You can't just, these can't converge and you don't get something. Something's got to give by May, right? So the problem that we have here, okay? We're gonna get back into crypto in a second, but I want to make this point clear. The problem that we have here is if the S&P keeps going sideways / down, these are gonna cross. And that's the problem that we have. So if the S&P doesn't start going up soon, if the S&P doesn't start coming up soon, these are going to cross. And historically, when those crossed, you've had a shit show capitulation, man. So we're going to want to see this come up within the next couple months. Now, that goes into my theory that this month and January probably are not great. But going into February, my bullish stance is that's when you start to see move to the upside. And these don't get across. So let's see what we got, man. History freaking awaits. And I do not think it's going to be a boring year. I don't. And many people are saying Bitcoin's going to go sideways. I don't think so, man. I don't freaking think so. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. But anyways, let me see what you guys are saying in here. Ilabar said hopium. It's not necessarily hopium. I'm open to either scenario playing out. I'm just showing what's happened in the past. I'm open to either scenario, to be honest. Let's see. Get ready to buy lows in a couple months. Dan said, got it, boss. Moon in May. Not necessarily Moon in May. It could be bad too. If you don't see a move up by May, I would say if you don't start seeing a move up by May, historically that's been a bad sign. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but historically that's been a bad sign for markets. All right. And it also couples with the DXY bouncing off the 50-week moving average, but it is what it is. Anyways. Hamilton said, respect the TA. Joe, why turtleneck? Oh, it's not a turtleneck. It's one of these Nike shirts. You see this? You see one of these Nike shirts? Boom! Little Nike shirt here. I could unzip it. I could unzip it, but, do I want to be one of those guys that, has the chest poking out and sort of has, the chest hair poking out? I don't want to be one of those weirdos. Okay, so I'm going to zip it up so you guys don't see the chest hair and you guys don't see, the fake sort of, I don't know, the fake sort of this, Boom! What's up with miners' capitulation? Yeah, I mean, you saw a miner go down yesterday, filed for bankruptcy. But the thing about that, you guys got to understand is, if something files for bankruptcy, that means they've already been selling off their Bitcoin, right? So I saw something on Twitter, and I mean, Twitter's you find your news nowadays. But that company that went bankrupt already sold. So they had about, I think it was 1,000 something Bitcoin. And they already sold like 1,000 Bitcoin. So they already sold off their Bitcoins. Everyone's like, oh my God, this company's going bankrupt. That's actually what you want to see. And that's actually a good sign. I know people don't understand that miners going bankrupt is a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because a lot of these, they're not sustainable, right? They take too much leverage and they grow too fast in a bull market and they can't sustain in a bear market. So them going down, they already sold their Bitcoin. So the sell pressure has already been absorbed, which is pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. That all that sell pressure, I think it wasn't anything crazy. I think it was like $17 million. Was already sold, and it really didn't, it impacted price a little bit, but the fact that you didn't see a major dump was pretty cool. But that sell pressure has already been absorbed. So everyone's saying, "Oh my God, they're bankrupt. We're gonna go down." They already sold their crypto, man. They already sold their crypto. So that's about where you're at with that one. Anything else other than that is just fun. Now, there are probably more miners that go down. Don't get me wrong, but they're probably already selling their crypto. That's the point. When you see miner capitulation, that means they're already selling. Not, oh my God, they're going bankrupt. Now we're going to dump. No, they're already selling their crypto now. Get them out. Let them flush out their crypto slowly. Get the people that can't plan for a bear market. These idiot companies that don't plan for a bear market. They think lower price is never going to happen, so these companies suck in crypto, man. They really, really do. How can you not? Can I do a quick rant alert real quick, guys? I know it's Christmas, but I got to rant real quick. And I've ranted about this in the past. Alert. How can you look at Bitcoin's price history and not plan for at least an 80% drop in price? How can you not plan? Bitcoin does the same thing every goddamn 4 years. How do you not, as a company, okay, not just have one chart up that looks at what Bitcoin does every 4 years and say, man, we should probably plan in case this happens again? You know what I mean? These companies are so stupid. Oh my God, man. And they all sound so smart, right? In the bull market, they're all so smart. They don't plan. Look, every bear market is the same shit. And they're all great up here, right? Oh, they're so smart. They're building, build. We're taking the bear market to build. And then they all go bankrupt down here. It's like, you can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this shit up. 1 out of 10 rant. It's ridiculous, dude. Bitcoin does the same shit. Look where Bitcoin is. It's the exact same point where it always is in the 4-year cycle. It is. Despite all the shit show that's gone on in the world in the last year, Bitcoin hasn't done anything different than it always has. That's the most crazy part to me. And in hindsight, you know what the most funny thing in hindsight will be? Is if all the doom and gloomers, all the crazy people in here, okay, think that this time's going to be different, and Bitcoin ends up doing the exact same thing that it always does. That would be the most hilarious thing. We spend all year, all these people speculating, right? Including myself. We speculate the whole year, and Bitcoin, all you had to do was just look at the 4-year cycle and respect the 4-year cycle. That's going to be the most crazy thing. Like if Bitcoin just does this, maybe it comes down a little bit lower, right? I do think 14K is a possibility at this point. And lower is certainly a possibility too. The way I'd say it is if Bitcoin doesn't see a move up soon, I do think January could be a little bit of a shady month. And I think 14K is certainly a possibility there in January. But, imagine Bitcoin just comes to 14K, right? It just goes sideways for maybe a couple months and then starts coming back up again. And all you had to do was look at this chart the whole year and not listen to the damn noise. Holy Lord, that would be absolutely insane. We'll see. What's going on? Taking care of business. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Total crypto market cap chart. Chewy said your chart is lagging 6 months. Oh, Chewy, you like it like this, don't you? You like it like this, where you put it in the first hit like this, and then the second hit like this. This is how Chewy likes it. Chewy likes it real bad like this. If it was like this, right? And I get this point of view too. If we want to say the first cycle high was the actual high, then yeah, I mean, you'd look something like this, and I guess Bitcoin would certainly still kind of be in the range where it should, excuse me, where it should be. My favorite thing to do is this: you take the first little dead cat bounce. So if you think the first bounce, this bounce in 2021 should have been lower, right? My take is this bounce was kind of fake, and we should have probably topped out right here, and this probably should have just been a bear market like this. But obviously, we had some bad actors in the space. They took leverage and they sort of pushed up the market higher. It is what it is. If you actually take the first peak like this as the first dead cat bounce, and then you take this dead cat bounce like this. This is the most interesting chart to me because Bitcoin was following it perfectly up to this point. And that's why I thought we were coming up from this point because, it seemed like all the FUD was gone, right? And then FTX happened and you dropped like a rock, right? FTX FUD, boom, you deviate for the first time in the whole bear market, right? Stupid FTX. Now it's up in the air. Now it's up in the air. Do you start to catch back up at some point? You probably need the macro to be better. The macro is still shit right now. You need the DXY to start breaking some of these key levels here. You need the stock market to sort of break above the 50-week moving average. But if those can happen, which right now is kind of a stretch, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit of a stretch right now, but we'll see in a few months. If those things can happen, we'll see. We'll see. I'm very, very, very excited to see what 2023 brings. I'm happy 2022 is over, or is going to be over at this point, and I'm ready for a fresh new 2023 start. I don't know about you guys, but it's crazy. If the FTX collapse happened in the bull market, the drop would have been magnified. Oh, facts. The fact, I mean, I hate to be one of those guys that's like, wow, Bitcoin held up very well, because did it really? No. But like, all things considered, if this FTX shit happened up here, dude, that would have been a 50% plus drop. If it happened even in the bull market, yeah, it would have been like probably a 40-50% drop. Something similar to the China ban over here back in the summer of 2021. The fact that we dropped from like 20K down to 15K, or really 16K, I don't know. I'll be curious to see if the price catches up in 2023. But that only happens if sort of everything else kind of goes to plan, That's why looking at Bitcoin charts is cool and everything, but it's like you still got the other factors in play. And I'm not just going to sit here and feed you guys hopium like, oh my God, this is where we are. We're going to start going to the moon from here. I don't know. You guys know what I'm waiting for. S&P get back over the 50-week moving average. DXY breaking below the 50-week moving average. Bitcoin getting back above the 20-week moving average. You see like those three things happen, we can start talking. Right now, it's fun to speculate, but Bitcoin really hasn't gone anywhere, It really hasn't. Told you by the end. Let me ask you guys in the chat. It's Christmas stream. We're chilling today, guys. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Do you think Bitcoin will continue the 4-year cycle? As in, okay, we went down for 1 year. Now, in theory, right, if we just continue it the same way like this, right? If we just do this. Now it would be, you still go up in the second year, right? Now you would see basically sideways / up. And then 2024 would basically be up only. Do you think we see the 4-year cycle play out again? Okay, let me know. I'm under the assumption mostly yes, but I do think 2023 can be volatile, right? I do think there's a possibility that, shit hits the fan, Bitcoin drops to like 10K, like a big drop to 10K, and then you start to sort of build. But I think it would be mostly the same. I think that would get bought up pretty quick, all things considered. But we'll see. Let me see what you guys think. RB said no. He said, I don't know. We all don't know, man. We're speculating. Yes, but it'll look different because after a real bear market, yeah, true. I think it'll look a lot different. I still think there's like we said, I mean, that's what we sort of spent this morning on, is there's a possibility that the S&P breaks the 200-week moving average. And if it does, historically, that's been it's been a pretty quick move down from that point. So it's about where we're at. Sure, will continue the cycle. The years it's supposed to go up and doesn't will be sheer manipulation. True. To me, it's personally, it's like the halving is too good of a hype measurement, right? Think about it from this standpoint. Us who've been in crypto for a while, we know about the halving, right? So we get hyped about the halving. Retail, like what I mean by retail is people that don't follow crypto regularly. They're gonna get pumped over the halving. It's too easy for the whales to use the halving as a excuse to move the price up, right? Because here's my take. Even if 2023 is a shit show, all right, it's certainly a possibility. Let's not act like it's not. If you don't think it's a possibility, well, I don't know what to tell you. But let's just assume 2023 is a shit show. Let's say Bitcoin comes down to 10K, kind of stays there. The halving is too much of a hype thing, and there's always greed, right? So if the whales say, okay, everyone knows the halving's coming, right? Everyone knows the halving's coming. Let's start moving price back up again. That's going to be like, okay, that's going to make everyone think the halving's coming. We're going to move the price up. So they move the price up. And that's when whales can take advantage of the halving hype. Okay, they bring it up just like they always do. And then sort of, the rest is kind of history at that point. Once you get the halving hype in to everyone's brain, it kind of happens again. Like, no, even down here, we had the pandemic, right? Everyone was thinking there's no way we're going to go into the upside. Okay, and I get there was money printing. I get it was a different time. Don't get me wrong. But even right here, everyone was still super bearish right here, man. Everyone was super bearish. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin started to take off because you had the halving hype, right? The halving happened right here. So you had the halving hype. I always think there's always greed. Greed always comes back. It's human emotions. Fear and greed. It's just a matter of when does it come back. And the halving is the perfect excuse for them to do that. Let me see. I think we double bottomed on total. True. You think you double bottomed on total? That's a possibility too. It's just I told you guys this. I know I'm a crypto channel, but at the same point, you guys probably notice I'm spending more time on stock market charts and the DXY. And the VIX and stuff like that, because in reality, Bitcoin's tied to those, and I love the Bitcoin charts, but Bitcoin charts are only so much because why? They haven't been through a serious time, and that's why I love the Bitcoin charts. I want to look at the Bitcoin charts, and we still will look at the Bitcoin charts, but we have to take them with a little bit of grain of salt and use sort of like the S&P as more of a guidance for Bitcoin, But at this point, we'll see, man. Dude, I'm just excited for 2022 to be over because 2022 has pretty much been down. Like, there's been no... like, this bear market has been brutal for Bitcoin. There's been no bear market rallies, right? That even got you a little bit excited. Right? I remember when we dropped here right? There was a lot of people calling, we're going to have a little rally to like 30K. That never came, And then sort of we dropped to here again. We have a little rally again. That never came. Really ever since we got that pump to 48K, it's been really down only. There's been no bear market, like serious bear market rallies that really get you pumped. Nothing. It's been straight down. So I'm happy 2022 is going to be over. Doesn't mean you can't sort of continue this brutalness into 2023 where it's just kind of straight down. But at least we get these stupid things out of the way, like tax loss harvesting, right? People taking losses to sort of offset their taxes. You get into 2022, people, I don't know. One weird little take. Here's one weird take that I have. Okay, and you guys can think about this yourselves, but think amongst this yourself. This is just a weird little theory I have. So we know the Bitcoin halving is in May of 2023. April 2023. Which at this point you're about a year and 4 months away from that. Okay. We know that long-term capital gains, and this might not matter for a lot of people, but we know long-term capital gains, at least in the US, is 1 year. Right? The difference between long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains is huge. Here's my theory. If you go back to the previous bear markets, what you'll notice is the Bitcoin price starts to go up at least a year before the halving. Like July, this one was almost about a year. right? This one was about a year and 6 months. Here's my take. Do people that are expecting the halving to be a catalyst to the upside want to get in a year before the halving? My reasoning is if they get in a year before the halving, they can then sell at long-term capital gains instead of short-term capital gains. Just a little theory that I have. And that could be a reason why the halving gets front-run a little bit a lot of the times, because people want to get that lower taxes when they do sell during the bull market instead of getting the short-term capital gains. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Could be something interesting that the whales look at. Because think about it. The difference between taxes of say a 20% long-term capital gains and a 40-50% short-term capital gains for someone that's trading millions and billions of dollars, that's a lot of freaking money. Maybe. I don't know. Could be something to think about. Franco said, Jordan having her wrap gifts for his angry neighbor. Oh, hell no. She's probably down there right now hearing me. No, she doesn't get any gifts. She gets coal. She gets coal, guys. She's been a Grinch the whole year, And I've tried to be nice to her, I haven't yelled at her back at all, and that's what I get. I get a big broom to the ceiling. Boom, 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 boom. Just a big ass broom to the ceiling. It's ridiculous. Jackson said that's been my plan all along. Interesting plan, man. Interesting plan. But once again, a lot of people will disagree, but I think that once again, the halving gets front run again. And we've talked about this a million times, but I will bring it up again. Every cycle, Bitcoin tends to go up before the halving 5 weeks earlier. Every single time. It's almost like the whales kind of front run each other every single time, thinking, I'm going to wait till this date. Oh, it goes up a little bit earlier. I'm going to wait till this date. It goes up a little bit earlier. Like we sort of said, from the halving to the lows. The halving till above the 20-week moving average, 49 weeks. Second time, halving to above the 20-week moving average, 54 weeks. So we add 5. Third time, you probably can guess it, 59 weeks. Boom, 59 weeks. So, like I said, if we just kind of continue the trend, this might be a little bit of a hot take. Who knows? But something we'll watch. I will say this: if this does happen, that would be pretty cool. 64 weeks, if we add 5 again, would put us, like I said, right sort of at the middle to end of January. So, once again, we sort of wait, and at least we got the holidays to get us through about a week of that, and then we're back to boringness in January. But we'll see what we got, right? We'll see what we got. I'll be curious to see if that theory plays out. I don't know. We'll find out. That's only if, like I said, that's only if we get some good news on like inflation continues down, and whatnot. But what I'll always say is this: charts are human emotions. A lot of times the charts tell you what's going to happen in the news. People don't agree with that, but and I've always sort of said this: you ever notice how when you get bad news, the price always tends to be at a resistance point? Whenever you get good news, the price always tends to be at some type of support. It always is like that. It's almost like it's predetermined, and people can front run it. And if they know good news is coming, they push it to support, and they know bad news is coming, they push it to resistance. It always tends to be that way. That's why it's freaking ridiculous, man. You only get bad news in sort of bear markets. You only get good news in bull markets. That's always how it is. It's crazy. It's still bear. I would not disagree with you, man. It is still bear. It is still bear. It is definitely still bear, man. I love when people come in and say, "Oh, it's still bear." Like, no shit. She's probably one of them calls Christmas a scam. You think the neighbor likes Christmas? Okay. She's Polish, so she likes Christmas. So I guess. The whales know the upcoming news. No, they always know the news, man. They always know the news. Pretty good economists think inflation's staying high all of 2023. I don't know about that, man, because I maybe on the things that matter. But if you look at true inflation rate, pretty much every week this continues down. For the last month, This is down like 1%. For the last 6 months, this is down almost 50%. Last week, this is down, it's coming up a little bit, I guess, the last couple of days, but it's still down about 0.2% in the last week. But the things that matter, like food and alcohol beverages, since the beginning of December, this looks like it's starting to come back up again, which is slightly annoying. But over the course of time, you'll notice that it has its little moves up. It's like a Bitcoin chart, it has a little bear market rally, comes down. Bear market rally, comes down lower. Bear market rally, comes down lower. It's like a Bitcoin chart here. It's pretty cool. So, over the course of time, this comes down. Housing, you see over the course of time, this is also down like 50% since the peak in April. Right? So this stuff is slowly coming down. Who knows, man? Who the frick knows? All we can do is watch this stuff, But I think that they really care about this and this. These other ones already gotten crushed, like transportation. Look at this. This one got crushed. Utilities, health, up. A lot of these are actually up, which is pretty cool. But we'll see. But we know there's a recession and inflation, and these are just facade. Might be expecting 1 basis point next year. Sure. True. I will say, if the recession, to me, we've already been in a recession, man. We've already been in a recession. People will argue that, the job market's too high. I would argue, listen, when the general public thinks a recession's coming, that means you're already in one. That was always the most common saying until now, where people are so adamant that it's not true. You know what I mean? So, doesn't mean you can't go into another one, But, so this is the most predicted recession in history. I will say that. If you look at the previous other bad times in history, the market doesn't even tank until the Fed pivots. The market continues up. The market normally would be continuing up into this point. The market's already dropped because everyone's a macroeconomist all of a sudden. You know what I mean? This has been the most predicted. 2023 is the most predicted bad year in history. I will say that. Everyone and their mother thinks it's going to be a bad year. Will it? Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe it is because everyone's so scared. I don't know. We'll find out. Getting from 7% to 1.2% is going to take a while. Not to be negative, but that's the goal they have set. True. I would argue that it doesn't really matter when they get to 1 or 2%. Not because to me it matters. It's almost, see, people get this misconception that the market's just going to continue down until the Fed pivots. That's not been true in the past. Typically, the market goes up until the Fed pivots, and then when the Fed pivots, that's when the market dumps. Right? I don't have the chart here with me. Actually, I might have the chart here. Let me look at that. I'll call that. Let's see. Let's load layout. I have it in here somewhere. Hold on. BTC. Let's see. SPX. Do I have it in here? Oh, come on, man. Here we go. This one. Let's open up this one real quick. Come on, man. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this today. Let's get rid of... how do I... Okay. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, typically the market doesn't go down until the Fed pivots. This is why this time is different in theory. So these red arrows is typically when the Fed starts cutting rates. And you'll notice that they start cutting rates in 2000 and 2008 at the peaks. You see? Peak. That's when they start cutting rates. The red arrows is when inflation peaks. You notice how this time is a little bit different. 2000, inflation peaked at the highs as well. Where in 2008, inflation peaked kind of in the middle. But if you go back over here, this time is so weird because the market's already dumping and the Fed hasn't even been close to pivoted yet, and that's why 2023 is such an anomaly because it's 2022 in theory was a lot different than those times. And we'll find out. To me, it's more similar to down here. Like if we go down here, you look at some of these times. In the 70s, the market's actually bottomed when inflation peaked. So you see right here, inflation peaked right here in the 70s, market bottomed. Inflation peaked right here in the 70s, market bottomed. Inflation peaked right here in the 70s, market, I guess it had a bottom right here in the monthly. But And you notice so far in this market, the bottom has come in when inflation peaked. Now, that doesn't mean it's the bottom, right? I am not calling a bottom, guys. I will say that. But to me, it's more similar to those than it is these. But time will tell. Time will tell. All in all, there's a lot of fear in the markets, and I will say that this is the most anticipated bad year in history, at least since I've been around. Definitely. Everyone thinks 2023 is going to be a bad year. Will the herd be correct? Well, in the past, everyone used to say the herd's not going to be correct. But that's the narrative now, that the herd is going to be correct. The news is going to be correct, everything like that. We'll see. Maybe they will be. But that is the narrative right now, for sure. That is the narrative. I'm looking at the second half of 2023. True. Let's see. July 2007 S&P top. Next time that level reached was March 2013. Let me see. I saw Grandma wearing a NASDAQ t-shirt the other day. Let me see. So in yen years, my investments are in 1250. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a stream here. I will be... Shit, let me see you guys sitting here. Okay. I'll be back tonight. Let's hope Bitcoin gets some price action. Right now, we didn't spend a lot of time on Bitcoin today because, quite frankly, there ain't a ton to talk about with Bitcoin, right? I will say this, guys. You see any clickbait thumbnail on YouTube, don't click on it. If you say anything that, like, Bitcoin is getting ready to blast off or Bitcoin is this or that, bro, Bitcoin's in a range, hasn't done anything. Okay, for 6 months. You know what I mean? So I'll be back tonight. Hopefully Bitcoin gets a little bit of short-term price action. Once again, if Bitcoin holds this level here, like 16.6, still looking for a move up. If this level breaks, we could see some red. Could see some red to come and test the lows here again. So let's wait patiently, and I'll be back tonight. All right? Adios, later, and don't get caught up in these little boring charts. And I know Christmas is coming up, so if I don't see you tonight, make sure you enjoy your Christmas. Take some time off the charts. You probably won't miss anything. Bitcoin will probably be right around the same range when you get back. All right? Later, peace, and have a good one, guys. See ya.